Welcome back to the Prime Workshop. Today in this episode we're going to be restoring the new brake master cylinder that we're going to be using on the 1963. If you remember from the teardown, we have a single line master cylinder. This is going to take it to a dual line master cylinder, one for the front brakes, one for the rear brakes. So now we're just going to start taking this apart. We're going to take off the rubber seal for the cap. We're going to end up reusing this just because it's just about brand new. There's nothing really wrong with it, just a little dirty. And as you can see, the cap itself, it's a little dirty. We'll end up cleaning that up here in a bit. Then you have the cap locking bar, just pops out. Now that we had finally gotten the snap ring out, we can work on taking out the brake piston, which the same corrosion that fought us on the snap ring is going to fight us on taking out that piston. And then here we're just going to try and clean out some of the gunk that's in there. This is where it was leaking on the truck that this came off of, so I'll just let you guys see what happens here. As you can probably see, we have resorted to grabbing hammers to try and use the force to force out the piston, because as you can see, it is heavily gunked up in there, which is also no good. So I would have grabbed out the piston sooner had I known that the replacement kit had a new piston to it. I didn't open that box until I was ready to actually rebuild it. But let's start to cleaning up some of this stuff. So all we're doing here is we're just using some degreaser inside the parts cleaner. We're just going to try and clean off as much of the brake fluid and the grease and whatnot. Try and break it down the best that we can. The inside of it, outside. Just make sure it's all relatively clean. Now hopping over to the bench grinder, we just have a wire wheel on here, and we're just going to take the locking bar, the cap, and the main body of the master cylinder. Just going to hit it with a wire wheel. Super simple, clean off a lot of the stuff, like the surface rust that's on it. And then you'll see here in a bit that when we're done with this, we're going to take it to the sonic cleaner. We're going to try and really clean out the rest of it with more cleaner. And we did that for 30 minutes, which you'll see that I'm kind of talking forward of what's going to happen. So now that we've pulled everything out of the sonic cleaner, we're going to put it out onto the table. As you can see, we've probably done a good bit of painting on this table. We're not painting right yet. We're just going to use some mineral spirits with some compressed air and a Venturi nozzle, and we're going to clean out all of the parts, any remnants of the parts cleaner. Now we're going to move over to the spray painting old toolbox and lay everything out. We're going to end up grabbing some paper to put this stuff on. And then we're going to paint the master cylinder black, and then that's why it's separate. And then the cap and the locking bar, those are going to be silver, just to give it a nice contrast, brand new look. So now, after unmasking everything, we're using some .3 brake fluid from Amsoil, and we're gonna get this piston in. I did make sure I pre-lubricated everything. Never hurts to have a little bit extra unless it's spilling out onto the paint and making the paint break down prematurely. I will let it be as funny as it is for how I set this piston, because I've never done this before. And you can see, even though we ran it through the parts cleaner twice, is that there's still stuff in the deepness of the veins in the master cylinder itself. You're gonna see me succeed and fail with what's about to happen. And then finally, after a good solid 10 minutes of struggle, we were finally able to get the snap ring to seat in. I used the snap ring pliers to get it initially set into there, and then grabbed a flathead to push it the rest of the way into the groove where it belongs. And that's the new piston installed. So now it's pretty straightforward from here. Just put the cap, put the rubber gasket back onto the cap. Just slots right in, same way we took it off. One thing I will note is when we go to put this on the truck, we're actually going to repaint the cap, because you're about to see it here that the silver / aluminum paint, whatever you want to call it, wasn't fully cured. And you can see it start right there, is it actually just scraped the paint right off. It is what it is. Those will have to be things that we have to take note of to make sure that it's fully cured before assembling next time. I mean, I did let this sit for a day and a half, and it still came off like that, but it just needs a little bit more time to cure and a little bit hotter, less humidity, which hopefully the weather holds out and it's only sunshine from here on out. But that is the 1963's new Brake Master cylinder, all rebuilt. Thank you guys so much for watching. We are right about 200 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. That is 100 subscribers in the past 4 months of uploading. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.